All right, so let's talk about Unreal Sync. Let's open that up. So the first things you'll see is all of like the map JSON stuff. So map name, Unreal directory, export materials, export collections, export mesh data name. So when you're doing like syncing of levels, like here's a level that I've worked on, and if I want to sync this, I'll show you real quick. Let's duplicate these. Then I export level JSON, go to Unreal. Ooh, that's not Unreal. There we go. And I sync. And you'll see that, what I've placed is now here. And if I delete it and I sync again, it'll be persistent. So you'll need to edit this if you want to make changes, right? I mean, at the same time, you can always just not use it anymore, and that's fine too. Like, it won't automatically sync itself. But let's talk about some of the things in here. So, export materials. This one is... Let's see. Let's go to my library. All right, so let's say I have like materials I already have inside of Unreal. Naming is super important, so you have to make sure that the naming is exactly the same as inside of Unreal. I'm going to drag this onto here and change that. Let's actually make sure that these are named correctly. So if you have duplicate materials, sometimes you get like a 0.001, right? And I'm going to show you... Oh, so they both did that. I'll show you that. So let's export JSON. Go back in Unreal, sync, and you'll see you'll get this nice little warning: material missing from project. So you have to make sure that you have the material and the project name correctly. So let's go ahead and change that. Export level JSON again. Go back in Unreal, sync it, and there you go. Excellent, nice and easy. So export collections, that just makes the folders. Export mesh data name. So the thing that I have you do is you have to add asset name for export, right? And you can see that in object, custom properties. Oh, let me clean this. Where is it? Oh. So I have a button here in Fix Assets. It's called Clean Custom Properties. Other add-ons will add like variables in here, and we don't need that. So I'm going to clean it. And then you'll see the asset name is called ball, and then it's set to true to export, right? And if we go to the data, we can see that the name is wsphere.001. Basically what that means is that you can either export with the asset name that's inside of the object, right? Or you can export its actual mesh data name. This is very specific. I do not expect, I expect 99.9% of people not to use this. So only use this is very specific, right? And then obviously the export level JSON button, the add asset name. So if I add a cube, where's that cube? There you are. Snapping on. So I have this cube here, right? We'll call it cube test. And so if I go to the object, you'll see that there's no custom properties. If I hit this button, add asset name for export, it will show asset name, cube test, and then export true or false, right? You can do the same thing inside of here, add asset name for export, and that's cool. Oh yeah, so this is like a bulk renamer. So like, let's say you have like a bunch of objects, right? Shift D them. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't want cube test anymore for this. We want to change it to ammo crate. Apply asset name. And so if I click on one of them, you'll see this called ammo crate, ammo crate, ammo crate. So this is a really cool system because that means that you can basically make proxies of things that you have inside of Unreal. So like you could have a really light scene inside of Blender, make like cubes and stuff like that, and then like add it, add the name, and then you can export them, right? I do not have these inside of Oh, actually, you know what? This is a good example. Let me move these guys out here. So I don't have anything inside of my project called ammo crate. So this is a good example. Let me actually delete the other ones. Export level JSON. Go back in Unreal. Sync the map. And you'll see here, oh, let me move it up so you can read it. It says missing static mesh and blueprint. So if you have one of these, you do not have an object inside of Unreal that's called this. So you'll have to make sure that you export it. That'll be another video on how to set that up. But yeah, super cool. All right, and so now let's talk about the create collection instance. Let's say you have something that you want to repeat, that you have like a bunch of static meshes. So I'm going to duplicate these, and I'm going to show you how that works. Move this here, move this here, rotate. All right, let's say this is something I want to place everywhere. So we'll hit M, new collection. We'll call this lamps. Create it, select the collection. It says here, select a collection in the outliner first. Create it, and now you'll have an instance of it. So you have this. You can Shift D it. Obviously, you should probably put these like in the center, right? So like the pivot works. It's not quite. It's like you see the pivot updates, right? All right. So let's say I want all these, right? Go to export level JSON. I go back into Unreal. I sync the map, and there you go. Now you have a little prefab inside of Blender. Great. All of these are kind of like fixing tools. You can read it in the wiki how this works. Super cool. Let's see. So next thing is export true, export false. So let's say I come over here. I'm working on these things, but I'm not quite ready to like have them go inside of Unreal yet. So I'll do export false. Export the level JSON. Go back into Unreal, sync, and you'll see they're no longer there, right? And that's just because we, set it to false. You can put it back, sync, and there you go. All right, and that's that. Also, you can change, what it looks like. It's all a nice little cool thing. Then you have overrides. So these material overrides are just for like when you're working, right? So you can do an override of the material for everything. If I want to change it to something else, maybe the gray, right? Now it just sets everything and then turns it off. So it retains all the materials that you have, right? So like if I go over here, you'll see enable override, and it just overrides everything, and then you check it off. And it brings all your materials back. And yeah, that's the Unreal Sync panel.